In 1933, Saudi Arabia signed a quiet deal. Few imagined it would reshape global power. American geologists arrived in desert heat. They searched for hidden underground wealth. Early drills failed and investors doubted. Money drained with no visible results. Then in 1938, oil finally erupted. Black gold flowed from Dammam Well No. 7. A poor kingdom suddenly held immense leverage. The Arabian-American Oil Company was formed. It later became known as Aramco. Pipelines crossed empty sands and mountains. Refineries rose near untouched coastlines. Foreign engineers built modern infrastructure. Oil revenues transformed royal authority. Tribal society began rapid modernization. Roads replaced caravan routes gradually. Electricity reached remote settlements. Healthcare and schools expanded nationwide. The royal family consolidated control. Oil became the foundation of legitimacy. American companies dominated early management. Profits largely flowed overseas. Saudi leaders demanded fairer terms. Negotiations reshaped revenue sharing. By the 1950s, power was shifting. The state increased its ownership stake. National pride grew alongside income. Workers demanded better conditions. Oil camps became modern towns. Their run turned into a strategic hub. Cold War politics entered the region. Washington viewed Saudi oil as vital. Security guarantees accompanied investment. Military bases protected energy routes. Oil and defense became intertwined. Regional rivals monitored Saudi growth. Iran and Iraq expanded production. Competition reshaped Middle Eastern politics. OPEC was founded in 1960. Saudi Arabia became its central pillar. Price coordination changed market dynamics. Western consumers felt new vulnerability. Energy became a diplomatic weapon. The 1973 oil embargo shocked economies. Gas stations faced sudden shortages. Inflation surged across the West. Saudi influence reached new heights. Revenues multiplied dramatically. Skyscrapers replaced desert towns. Welfare programs expanded rapidly. Subsidies stabilized domestic loyalty. Education abroad created new elites. Technocrats replaced tribal administrators. The monarchy modernized cautiously. Tradition remained politically essential. Religion legitimized authority. Oil funded massive religious projects. Mecca and Medina were expanded. Pilgrimage infrastructure improved. Aramco became partly nationalized. Foreign control declined steadily. By 1980, full nationalization occurred. The state now owned its fortune. Aramco became a strategic instrument. Production levels shaped global prices. Reserves proved larger than expected. Saudi fields dwarfed competitors. Cheap extraction ensured dominance. The kingdom became energy kingmaker. Markets watched Riyadh closely. Decisions affected billions of lives. Oil revenues funded foreign policy. Allies received financial assistance. Rivals faced economic pressure. Regional conflicts gained funding. Petrodollars reshaped global banking. Western banks recycled surplus wealth. Investments flowed into real estate. Financial centers expanded rapidly. Saudi wealth entered global markets. Influence spread through capital. Media, sports, and culture felt impact. Sponsorship built soft power. Yet dependence increased vulnerability. The economy remained undiversified. Oil dominated state revenue. Price drops caused instability. The 1980s collapse hurt budgets. Austerity shocked citizens. Reform debates emerged quietly. Change was postponed repeatedly. Stability was prioritized. Oil still guaranteed survival. New generations grew ambitious. Expectations rose steadily. Pressure mounted silently. The old model weakened. Global energy trends shifted. A new era was approaching. The 1990 Gulf War changed everything. Iraqi forces threatened Saudi borders. American troops deployed rapidly. Oil fields became military targets. Security dependency deepened. Defense spending increased sharply. Regional politics intensified. Extremism grew in parallel. Some citizens resented foreign troops. Radical movements gained traction. The state responded with control. Surveillance expanded quietly. Political participation remained limited. Oil wealth compensated dissent. In 2001, global attention shifted. Saudi connections faced scrutiny. Diplomatic pressure increased. Reforms were cautiously announced. Education and media were adjusted. Aramco stayed firmly state-run. Transparency remained minimal. Reserves were treated as secrets. Markets relied on official claims. Trust became strategic. China emerged as major customer. Asia replaced the West gradually. Shipping routes shifted eastward. New refineries served new markets. Long-term supply contracts expanded. Energy diplomacy diversified. Russia entered coordination talks. Production agreements stabilized prices. Cooperation replaced competition. Market management became sophisticated. Technology improved extraction methods. Enhanced recovery increased output. Digital monitoring optimized wells. Data entered oil management. Efficiency rose dramatically. Costs remained extremely low. Profit margins stayed unmatched. Aramco became most valuable firm. Internal estimates shocked analysts. Trillions in assets were calculated. Leadership sought monetization. An unprecedented IPO was planned. Global investors were invited. In 2019, shares were listed. Valuation broke world records. The state retained control. Transparency increased selectively. Financial reports were released. Still, key data stayed hidden. Markets accepted partial visibility. Dividends attracted institutions. Pension funds joined ownership. Global savings entered Saudi oil. Interdependence deepened. Meanwhile, climate concerns grew. Renewable energy gained momentum. Electric vehicles threatened demand. Western policies shifted. Carbon taxes emerged. Fossil fuels faced criticism. Saudi leaders studied transitions. Diversification plans were drafted. Vision 2030 was announced. Tourism and industry were promoted. Entertainment restrictions were eased. Cities were redesigned. Mega projects promised transformation. NEOM symbolized ambition. Billions were invested. Risk increased significantly. Success was uncertain. Oil still funded everything. Dependency remained unresolved. Price volatility persisted. Pandemic shocks revealed fragility. Demand collapsed briefly. Budgets were strained. Reserves provided protection. Production cuts stabilized markets. Cooperation with rivals deepened. OPEC Plus became central. Energy governance globalized. Saudi Arabia gained leadership. Diplomacy centered on barrels. Sanctions on others raised leverage. Supply gaps boosted revenues. Strategic reserves became political tools. Energy security dominated discourse. Infrastructure attacks raised fears. Defense of fields intensified. Cybersecurity became critical. Digital risks emerged. Espionage targeted data. Protection became expensive. Stability felt conditional. The future remained uncertain. Artificial intelligence entered oil planning. Predictive models guided production. Automation reduced labor needs. Efficiency improved further. Human oversight declined. Decision-making accelerated. Markets reacted instantly. Social media amplified news. Reputation became fragile. Investor sentiment shifted rapidly. ESG metrics gained importance. Sustainability became financial language. Greenwashing accusations appeared. Image management intensified. Public relations expanded. Narratives were carefully crafted. Youth demanded opportunity. Employment diversification became urgent. Education focused on technology. Startups received funding. Cultural openness increased. Tourism projects advanced. Sports investments expanded influence. Global branding accelerated. Yet oil still dominated revenue. True diversification proved difficult. Structural reform faced resistance. Tradition limited speed. Change required consensus. Consensus took time. Meanwhile, global demand fluctuated. Wars disrupted supply chains. Shipping routes faced threats. Insurance costs increased. Strategic stockpiles mattered. Energy planning became militarized. Diplomacy and oil merged. Leaders negotiated over output. Barrels replaced bullets. Influence replaced occupation. Wealth replaced ideology. Stability replaced revolution. The monarchy adapted continuously. Survival required flexibility. Oil enabled transformation. Oil also constrained it. Dependency shaped decisions. Freedom remained limited. Prosperity demanded balance. Balance remained elusive. New generations questioned old systems. Expectations rose again. Technology accelerated change. Culture evolved cautiously. Power stayed centralized. Wealth stayed concentrated. Inequality remained sensitive. Redistribution remained controlled. The social contract evolved. Loyalty exchanged for stability. Stability exchanged for growth. Growth exchanged for control. Control exchanged for survival. History repeated in new forms. Energy remained decisive. Alternatives grew slowly. Transition required patience. Patience required reserves. Reserves required oil. Oil required demand. Demand required growth. Growth faced limits. Limits shaped policy. Policy shaped markets. Markets shaped nations. Nations shaped history. History shaped identity. Identity shaped legitimacy. Legitimacy shaped authority. Authority shaped destiny. Saudi Aramco remained central. Its wells powered civilization. Its data guided strategy. Its profits funded ambition. Its risks defined limits. Its future mirrored humanity's. Energy remained the core struggle. Technology changed the battlefield. Politics changed the rules. Society changed expectations. Power adapted continuously. Influence became invisible. Control became algorithmic. Wealth became abstract. Yet oil stayed physical. It flowed beneath deserts. It shaped global order. It defined modern empires. It wrote silent history. And it still rules today.